Most people who have cloves in their kitchen have them for one reason: cooking. They go into rice, into biryani, into holiday ham, into mulled wine. They add a sharp, distinctive smell to whatever they are put in. And then the jar goes back in the spice cupboard, and nobody thinks about it again until the next time a recipe calls for one. But cloves at one time in history were worth more than gold, not because they smelled nice, because they did something that almost nothing else could do at the time. They numbed pain, killed infections, and stopped the spread of disease in an era before antibiotics. That pharmacological history did not disappear. The chemistry behind it is still fully present in every clove sitting in that jar right now. And what happens inside the body when one clove is chewed slowly for 60 seconds before sleep, at a time when the digestive system is quiet and the nervous system is preparing to shift into overnight repair mode, is something most people have never been told about. The active compound in clove that does most of the biological work is called eugenol. Eugenol makes up roughly 70 to 90% of the essential oil found in whole cloves, which is why a single whole clove contains a meaningful pharmacological dose of this compound, in a form the body can absorb through the mucous membranes of the mouth during the act of chewing. This is not a minor detail. When a clove is chewed rather than swallowed whole or dissolved in water, eugenol is released directly into the saliva and begins absorbing through the oral mucosa, the thin, highly vascular tissue lining the inside of the mouth, reaching circulation faster than it would through the full digestive transit of a swallowed preparation. The mouth is one of the most absorptive surfaces in the body, specifically for fat-soluble compounds like eugenol, which can cross mucosal membranes efficiently in ways that water-soluble compounds cannot. 60 seconds of chewing is enough to release a substantial fraction of the eugenol content of a single clove and deliver it to the sublingual and buccal vasculature, from which it enters general circulation within minutes rather than the 30 to 60 minutes required for a fully swallowed preparation to complete digestion and absorption. What eugenol does in the body once it reaches circulation is relevant to sleep specifically through three mechanisms that interact with each other rather than operating independently. The first is its effect on the nervous system. Eugenol has documented sedative properties, not in the pharmaceutical sense of forcing unconsciousness, but through a measurable suppression of central nervous system activity that produces relaxation without the cognitive disruption or dependency risks of pharmaceutical sleep aids. Research comparing eugenol to commonly used sedative compounds has found that it acts through GABAergic pathways, the same signaling system that most pharmaceutical sleep medications target. GABA is the nervous system's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. When GABAergic activity increases, the electrical noise of an active, awake brain quiets. The transition from wakefulness to sleep requires this quieting, and eugenol appears to facilitate it through a mechanism that is gentler and more reversible than the pharmaceutical alternatives that target the same pathway with much greater potency and correspondingly greater disruption to sleep architecture. The second sleep-relevant mechanism involves tryptophan. Cloves contain a small but real amount of tryptophan, the essential amino acid that is the direct biochemical precursor to serotonin, which is itself the precursor to melatonin. The body's melatonin synthesis chain begins with tryptophan in the blood, converts it to serotonin in the gut and brain, and then converts serotonin to melatonin in the pineal gland as light exposure drops in the evening. Anything that increases circulating tryptophan in the hours before sleep has the potential to support this chain, which is why tryptophan-rich foods have been studied for decades in the context of sleep quality, and why the best-known example, turkey, became culturally associated with sleepiness. A single clove is not a significant source of tryptophan by weight, but combined with the GABAergic relaxation effect of eugenol, even a modest increase in tryptophan availability in the evening window, when the pineal gland is already ramping up melatonin synthesis in response to declining light, can support a more complete and timely melatonin release than the nervous system might produce in a more alert, activated state. The third mechanism involves blood sugar regulation, and this is the one that most directly explains why sleep quality changes for some people when cloves are introduced before bed. One of the most disruptive events to sleep architecture is a blood sugar crash occurring during the first few hours of sleep, a drop in circulating glucose that triggers a mild stress response, briefly activates the sympathetic nervous system, and prevents the body from entering or sustaining the deep, slow-wave sleep stages, where the most restorative biological work occurs. Eugenol has been shown in research to support insulin sensitivity and to reduce the glycemic response to food consumed earlier in the evening, meaning that the blood sugar trajectory heading into sleep is more stable and less prone to the crash and activation pattern that disrupts sleep architecture. Research on clove extract specifically found significant reductions in fasting blood glucose and improvements in insulin sensitivity among subjects using clove consistently over a period of weeks. For anyone over 60, whose sleep is already more fragmented than it was younger, and whose insulin sensitivity has declined as part of normal metabolic aging, this blood sugar stabilization effect during the overnight hours is practically significant in ways that a pharmaceutical sedative that does nothing for metabolic function would never address. The anti-inflammatory dimension of eugenol adds a fourth layer that is relevant to sleep in older adults specifically. Chronic low-grade inflammation, the background inflammatory state that researchers increasingly call inflammaging, interferes with sleep architecture through multiple pathways. Elevated inflammatory cytokines, particularly IL-6 and TNF-alpha, disrupt the normal cycling between light and deep sleep stages. They activate the immune system in ways that keep the nervous system in a state of mild alert rather than full recovery. Eugenol has demonstrated direct suppression of NF-kappa B, the master inflammatory signaling switch, with effects comparable in some studies to ibuprofen in their ability to reduce the production of inflammatory compounds. When this suppression occurs in the evening, as eugenol from a chewed clove reaches circulation, the inflammatory background noise that can prevent deep sleep from completing its restorative work is reduced at exactly the moment the body is trying to shift into its deepest recovery phase. After age 60, sleep changes in ways that are well documented but rarely explained, with the specificity that would help people understand what is actually happening and why specific interventions work. The amount of slow-wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative stage, drops by roughly 25 to 30% between ages 20 and 60, and continues declining steadily after that. The glymphatic system, which uses the deep sleep window to flush metabolic waste including amyloid proteins from the brain, is most active during slow-wave sleep and loses most of its capacity as that sleep stage becomes less available. The growth hormone pulse that supports tissue repair and muscle maintenance is tied directly to slow-wave sleep and diminishes proportionally as the sleep stage does. These are not minor inconveniences. They are biological functions that determine how well the body rebuilds itself overnight, how effectively the brain clears the waste that accumulates during waking hours, and how resilient the immune system remains through the natural immunological functions that occur during sleep. The combination of mechanisms that eugenol from a chewed clove activates, GABAergic nervous system quieting, tryptophan-supported melatonin pathway, blood sugar stabilization, and background inflammation reduction, addresses several of the specific factors that make deep sleep harder to achieve and sustain after 60. It does not replicate the architecture of pharmaceutical sleep aids, which often suppress deep sleep stages as a side effect even as they accelerate sleep onset. It works instead through the body's own pathways, supporting the conditions the body needs to generate its own sleep, rather than imposing chemical unconsciousness from outside those pathways. The distinction matters more than most people realize, because the quality of sleep produced through natural pathway support tends to preserve the sleep architecture, the cycling through all stages including deep slow wave, that pharmaceutical sleep aids sometimes flatten or distort. One practical note worth addressing: clove oil applied directly to the mouth or gums in concentrated form can cause irritation or sensitization in some people. This is a known concern with essential oil applications, and it applies to direct oil use rather than to whole cloves chewed as a food. A single whole clove consumed as described here, 60 seconds of chewing followed by swallowing, is a food-based dose of eugenol well within the ranges consumed in traditional cuisines around the world for centuries without adverse effects in the general population. People with clotting disorders or taking blood-thinning medications should check with a physician before using cloves consistently, because eugenol has mild antiplatelet properties. For most people, the appropriate caution is simply to use whole cloves in food-appropriate quantities rather than to treat extracted clove oil as a direct therapeutic agent applied to tissue. If this changed how you think about what is sitting in the spice rack right now, share it with someone who mentions struggling with sleep. Subscribe to Your Body Decoded. Next week, we go even deeper inside the biology of what your daily food habits are doing to your body.